I don't think the film explores the idea of the domestic arguments enough. So you could hear arguing, and you could tell why he was upset because of that, but it's not all. It wouldn't all be to do with that. So it doesn't explore him being neglected. So it didn't feel like it explored that broad enough for me. Because it doesn't explore the domestic argument side enough, apart from the short argument you hear, some people might not get it, so they might miss that completely as just background noise. So anyone younger than 15 who just watches videos for the sake of watching videos, not for any meaning, they might miss the point of it. I think the target audience is sort of 13 to 16-year-old. So coming up to the end of school, that to me is what it felt like. The first point I'd make is the camera switch at the beginning. Everything's based on a tripod up until he's walking through the alley, and then it switches to his feet being recorded by himself, and it just confused me a bit, because I think if you're going to have film and it's going to be tripod based, you should just base it on that. The second thing was a continuity error. So the train he got on was red, and the train filmed over the bridge was purple. You could argue that he's travelled further, so he's gone off that train and then onto another one, but because that's not shown, it's not clear. So that to me sort of indicates a continuity error. The idea of wanting to run away is definitely a real one for many people, and the idea of coming home again is even more real, because at the start when they feel like running away, it's not real to them because they don't understand the outside world. They're used to living at home, but when the idea of coming back, that's when it's real to them, because they realise they can't cope outside of that world. So yeah, I think the idea of that is realistic. I think more could have been done to show why he went back home instead of the short scene where he sits down. Sort of. To me, I sort of felt that he was hungry, maybe, and he looked at the sandwich, and it was he might have missed his parents' food or something, which is why he would have gone back. I would have gone back for parents' food. The lead male actor did a good job of portraying the fact that he was depressed by there was a lot of looking at the floor, and there was you could tell by the look on his face that he wasn't, not that he was sad, it looked like he was thinking about something instead, because sometimes if you try to force being depressed as a facial expression, it doesn't work, but I think he did a good job of portraying his role. For me, the whole sandwich scene was a bit too staged, maybe a bit too dramatic. The film kept a theme of being normal and being relatable to 12 to 21-year-old. There wasn't any drama involved between leaving the house and arriving, but for me that one scene it didn't fit the rest of the film. It may just be a personal preference, but when I watch things, I prefer to not know the number of the bus, or anywhere that could link it to somewhere. It's like us watching Phone Shop and then saying they're running down the hill, but they end up to the top of the hill. But anyone else who doesn't live here, they don't know that. And then us going, doesn't make sense. I like it. I like the name as a title, but I don't think it suits the film, especially if the target market is 12 to 21-year-olds. A 21-year-old would know what it means, and they'd they'd get the concept behind it, but a 12-year-old would not know what that means. To them it might just sound like a superhero name. The busiest scenes were when he got off the bus, or when he was walking somewhere, but apart from that, the main centre of attention is always him. So it was easy to follow because you're just looking at him instead of anywhere else. There are a couple of scenes where people are noted looking at the camera. It may have been worth getting 2 or 3 takes of that just to pick the best one. I think it flowed well and was cut well because it was easy to follow.